I had a disease, and I healed. I had a near-death experience years ago, and as I moved out of my body, I got to see that everything that I thought I was so small and contracted, and the truth was so beautiful and big and the real thing. And then given a choice to come back or not, I chose to come back. And I've been on this rampage of teaching. And what I am starting to understand is that it's always been me that's been the one learning. And I don't even really know what my question is, other than that I just have so much gratitude, and it takes me to a place where what I want to be is a really good teacher. That's what I want more than anything, is I want to be a teacher that can represent what's possible. And I keep reaching to be better and better at it. And I get confused sometimes about marketing versus attracting and hoping everybody's going to show up. And that's kind of where I probably have my biggest struggle.
We think she's a really good teacher already, don't you? You're touching on something that is really important. It's the effort factor. And let's talk about the effort factor in relationship to the path of least resistance factor. So if you are efforting, then that means you haven't done the pre-paving work that we've been talking about. We're talking to anyone who's doing anything. Esther, one day she said to us, because we've really been emphasizing this high-flying disc, just do that. It's the easiest way to tune your vibration. It's the easiest way to deliberately control your point of attraction. It's the easiest way to just get out of bed on the right foot. It's the easiest way to tune yourself to the frequency of not only who you are, but everything you want. And one day, Esther said, as the friend before you was saying, I refuse to have to wait until tomorrow to get back on my high-flying disc. You've given us enough tools that I know that I can get back on my high-flying disc just because I want to be in that vibration. And so she set up for herself in her computer a template where she could do focus wheels, because she can type very quickly. So she put all of the fields for the focus wheels. You know what the focus wheel is? It's where you just identify how you want to feel, even if you don't feel that way. And then you just find thoughts or statements or ideas that you already feel like you want to feel about. So you don't challenge yourself in new thought, or you don't try to reach for things you're not feeling. You just find something that already feels like you want to feel and focus on that long enough that then another thought will come to you that feels like you want to feel. And as you move around this wheel, before you know it, you feel the way you want to feel. And then you make this final statement of how you feel. It focuses you into alignment. And so Esther began making focus wheels. And one day, as she was working on a focus wheel, she could feel that she was not finding the thoughts easily. She was working hard at finding the thought. And we said to her, if you are efforting, it would be like, it's exactly like this. This is the best analogy for this understanding that we have ever given. It would be like deciding that you will surf today. And since the wave that you want hasn't come, you're going to create it by paddling in the ocean.
That's what I do.
Instead of understanding that you've already created the wave with your desire, and that source already has this powerful energy moving to you, and that your role simply is to get in sync with that energy, with that power that is already there, you see. So again, it's just a matter of chilling a little bit more. We want to say it's a matter of coming into your own sense of well-being and worthiness. But that's sort of cart before the horse thing, because what really has to take place is you find your alignment, and then your alignment produces the results, and your awareness of the results is what usually gives you that realization of who you really are. Things are always working out for you, and as you're looking for that, as you're looking for evidence of that, that would be a very good thing to focus on. Today I would like to see the evidence of things working out for me, because the universe is yielding that evidence to you all day, every day, because things are working out. But when you identify your intention to see that things are always working out for you, then you will. Did we answer it? Something more?
So if I start efforting and pushing, like I have a tendency to do, to sit back and have a cup of tea and just change the way I feel.
See, there's a difference. What we're talking about, let's introduce the subject. We've been talking about momentum and vibrational momentum. Now let's talk about action.
Okay.
So many people use their action to try to create the momentum. That's what we were saying earlier. Well, of course you can create momentum with action. You can pick things up and move them around, and you can use your words and have some effect on things. But it's really a puny, paltry current in relationship with this alignment current that we're talking about. And so rather than taking the action first, what we're encouraging you to do is find alignment first, and then let the inspiration that comes from the alignment, let that action be inspired from that alignment. There's so much power in all of that.
That's it.
We could say to you all kinds of things about who we know you to be. And we could give you all kinds of advanced announcements about what we know is coming for you. But it is so much better when you rediscover, and we want you to hear that word, when you rediscover what's in your vortex. In your pantry at home, you have all kinds of ingredients that equal really wonderful things to eat. But the ingredients in and of themselves are not that exciting. And so we want you to realize that you have the ingredients in your vortex for endless, wonderful moments in time. And we're not talking about just big places. Esther said to Jerry so many times as they were driving around the nation, "Look at that beautiful car. I think you should buy that for me. It would make me happy for the afternoon." And that was about how much happiness that would have for her. In other words, there are so many things that you think you want that would give you that feeling for the afternoon. And we think that's a wonderful thing. What now? What now? What now? What now? What now? What now? Where so many people are holding out for the big things, for the big vacation, for the once-in-a-lifetime trip to Greece, for the relationship that is the end of all relationships. The string of relationships ends with you. That's how good you are. And we want you to be continually open for the rendezvous now, and the rendezvous now, and the rendezvous now, and the rendezvous now, and the rendezvous now. And we want to say to you that your vortex has enough components within it, some that were there before you came into this body, and many that you have put there since you've been in this body. And the variety of combinations that law of attraction is putting together for you is never ending. And when you're dominant, we want to almost say singular. When you're not just primary, not just dominant, when what matters to you more than all things put together is the way you feel. So much so that you're willing and ready to tune yourself and keep yourself tuned, and tune yourself and keep yourself tuned. Because it's only when you've tuned yourself long enough that you know what that tune sounds like that you can tell if you're out of tune, right? In other words, if you haven't tuned to it, you can't tell when you're off that vibration. So tune yourself, and then just watch the components of all of that come. People say, "Hey, Bram, I've written a book and the inspiration came to me. I knew what to do. I get in these spurts and snatches of inspiration, and there it is. And now I want to market it, or now I want to bring others to it. Now I don't know what to do. What should I do? How can I take this thing that I know is of value, that I want to present to others? How can I get it to the others?" And we say, write another book. And they say, no, you misunderstood me. I've written a book. I wrote the book. It was not that much fun to do, but I wrote the book. I've got the book. I have the end result of all this that I've done. And now when I take this end result and we say, there is no end. You're not hearing me, Abraham. I finished the book. I've got the book all finished. It's done. The book is done. We say there's never done. Abraham, are you listening to me at all? Do you understand that I have this ending thing that I've come to? And we say, therein lies your problem. There is no ending thing. You just want to keep the energy going and the energy going and the energy going and the energy going and the energy going. And law of attraction takes care of everything else. Everything else. And when you are trying to take care of it without getting the energy going, it's hard. It's really hard. It's so hard. It's not fun. But when you care about how you feel only, now others looking on who are still dragging things around from place to place, others who are watching you taking the path of least resistance way out, oh, you lazy, easy looking for person, they may criticize you because they would like you to sweat as much as they are. People want you on their vibrational disc. Otherwise, they can't relate to you and you can't relate to them. Esther would say, I want to talk about this. I want to know what you think. And Jerry would get that grin on his face and say, I don't think you want to know what I think. I think you want me to agree with you. And that was pretty much true. So what you're really wanting to do is tend to your own vibration, find agreement, singular agreement with who you really are. Get that momentum going in such a way that law of attraction then brings those who are ready for that which you are.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I wrote a book. It's like you were inside my
Really?
You knew that.
Who knew? Oh, we did.
You're all through it. I wrote you all through. I sent you a copy, but I now need to write another book.
We never read your book. We don't read your books.
No, but you were in it, so I just appreciate that, and I have to write another book. That's what it is. I get it.
Just keep flowing. Just keep flowing. This ties in with what you were saying earlier. If you just keep bringing it in from source and flowing it out, bringing it in from source and flowing it out, bringing it in from source and flowing it out, those who are in a vibrational place of receiving it will, and those who are not quite ready will receive it from someplace else. But if you focus upon what they're doing, and what they're doing is on a different disc, now you're joining them on the different disc. The epiphany that Esther has discovered and experienced and is enjoying more than almost anything else, maybe everything else put together, is a realization of how much futile time, how much wasted time, how futile it is to try to get anybody to get you, to try to get anybody to understand you. Because if you're trying to get them to understand you and they're not, they're in a different vibrational frequency. She realizes that it's not a language barrier. It's not a cultural barrier. It's a vibrational barrier. And it's not a barrier. It's a law of attraction based universe. And so pick your frequency. Pick the frequency that feels best to you and expect, because you can, that law of attraction will yield to you those who are a vibrational match to you.
That's so great.
And then you'll live happily ever after.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so great. Thank you so much.
And obviously it's all good. I know when I'm in that receiving mode. I know when I'm not. I appreciate that I'm more and more often in that receiving mode. I've also noticed that the more I am aware of it and I try to stay in the receiving mode, at that point I'm not in the receiving mode.
Because when you are in the receiving mode, there is no effort required. And when you feel like you need to try, that's when you want to take a nap or change the subject or focus in some other way. Are you following what we're getting at? Because when you try, you are usually trying to accomplish something that isn't. So the dominant vibration from your perspective is the isn't. And now anything that you're doing about it just increases the resistance. And you can feel the strain within you. You can feel when you're trying. You can feel when you're trying too hard. We don't mean to say that trying at all is trying too hard. Yeah, we do. Trying at all is trying too hard. Because in the flow, there is no trying. There is just the receiving. It's just the obvious thing. You get in that flow, and things that wouldn't occur to you begin to occur to you. It's just such a nice thing to watch how many good ideas flow to you from your broader perspective that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise.
True.